Aren't you tired of only living in this limitation of the body while God created you and made it possible for you to ascend? Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Emmerance Podcast. I'm your host, Emmerance Victoria. And if you're new here, I hope you are ready to become an asset and not an accessory. In this podcast episode, we are going to talk about the evolution of man in the ancient times, how ancient Kemet understood the evolution, and it will touch on an episode that I spoke about how in order for Egyptians like kings to become a pharaoh, you have to become a grade 3 student. And today I'm going to touch on exactly what are those three stages and those three grades so that you understand that there's a difference between a civilization that had the 42 laws of Ma'at that give us accountability for our actions. We were very much in order and not in chaos. While there was some type of issues, the most important part about ancient Kemet is to understand that they lived over 3,000 years in a matriarchy society, and they were like the United States today, or we'll say China today. Okay, so you have to understand that the information I'm getting is from a lot of research. I've been researching ancient Kemet since 2018, and today I'm finally coming out and owning my research, and I love it. I'm happy for me. And you are also going to understand why I'm taking this in my podcast. Like I said before, I cannot talk about self love without talking about God. And the OG of God, of the people that actually lived as gods on earth, they were in ancient Kemet, they were in Africa. Okay, so we are going to touch on that today. But first, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, we're still at the beginning. You are on your way to become an asset. You are not an accessory. That is something that I touched on last episode. I explained exactly why I had to talk about the Bible and the 42 laws of Ma'at. We saw that the 10 commandments was very much so for control and not for people to become gods on earth. It was more about how to live with one another, very much external, so that we can all live with each other. But there was nothing in the 10 commandments that actually guides you inward. Okay. And then I literally confirmed that if you don't know your past, you will not know where you're going. So it's very important to understand that everything that I'm sharing, it's something that you already knew. It's already in your DNA, and you're able to have access to it as long as you finally understand that at this point, in this moment, when you're listening to me, you're probably functioning in your child Sahu man stage. Okay, so let's hop in this topic of Sahu men. Basically, in ancient Kemet, their time is completely the opposite of today's world. Their education was very much to extract everything that you had already knew in your DNA so that you can become that real spirit that you should be on earth. And the reason why is because for them, they believe that when God created the world and created humans, by the time he got to the human beings, it was very much the opposite of God. What that means is when you are at a stage of God, you are a union. You unify everything. Everything is complete. Okay, that's why we say that God is the complete one. We say that God is the all, right? So once that all started creating and producing other aspects like the earth, the firmament, and all that, like the Bible it describes it, it is removing some part of itself. And those creation also has some part of Him, which means that they are spirits. Okay, just like how now humans, as we are now at the lowest of the lowest bar of his creation, which is the last one, we are still part of him and part of this entity or spirit, and we take this little, let's say the spirit is the sun and we're sun rays, right? But we still have that sun in us. So when we are born with that sun in us. Now when we come to this earth, we forget why we're here. We forget our contract. We forget the reason that we're here and where we come from and all that. So how it works in ancient Kemet is their life was not to go and follow a career or to become this type of materialistic king, is to actually become a god on earth. They literally had their spirituality in everything that they did in order for you to actually have that awakening. So they were awakening their civilization, they were awakening people through that system. Okay, in order for you to understand this system, I'm going to use the transactional analysis. So the transactional analysis is in psychology. It's the relationship between the adult, parent, and child within you. It's not about your parents or your kids. It's all in you. We all have a child within us, we all have an adult within us, and we all have a parent within us. Now, the way it evolves, it depends, and you have to look up on your own more about transactional analysis. But the way I understand it is basically during a certain age, we're children, right? We want to be seen. We want to have our emotions catered for. We want to react to external stimuli. We want to have fun. We're very focused on everything that's material. We get jealous easily and all of that, right? As a child, we want to be praised. Now, in when you grow, you become an adult, and that adult is what you're still discovering things. And I feel like at certain point, people don't fully become an adult until they reach a certain age, like way later than 30. But for the sake of this conversation, we're going to skip the adult for now. We're going to go to the parent. So the parent is actually, I believe that most adults, okay, they're not really adulting, they're parenting. And it goes with policing. What I mean by that is the fact that a lot of parents, all they do is to protect you. All they do is to make sure that you go by the rules so that everything is good, right? All they do is to protect, to feed, and they work super hard. They want everything to be in order. So the parent is the one in you, the responsible adult in you, that is guiding the child. So the child can want to have like fun and stuff like that, but can like throw a wreck or a tantrum. The parent in yourself, you'll be like, calm down, we're good. Okay, there's nothing wrong here, we're good. All right. Now, the adult is basically the middleman between the child and the parent. Within you, once you become more and more conscious, once you grow and you understand life, you have less and less fear. So your fear of always doing things right and not taking risk and stuff like that will diminish, because with knowledge, you have less fear. What does that mean is that an adult will become a mediator between the parent and the child. So let's say you are dieting and you want to lose weight, but you were invited to a birthday party and it's literally 2 weeks in your diet, you're doing great, you haven't cheated at all with your meals. And you get to that party, the child in you is like, oh my gosh, I see cake. I love cake. It's chocolate cake and you love chocolate cake and you want that chocolate cake. And the parent in you will look back and be like, well, we are only 2 weeks and we're doing so great. Let's just continue. Now, the adult in you might look at it and be like, okay, maybe just a small piece of cake. Or maybe we can just not have the cake, but have something else that's healthier. You understand what that is, okay? Now, that's the transactional analysis. When you understand it that way, you'll understand the evolution of men. But with the evolution of men in ancient Kemet, it is a system that is made for you to evolve. It's not for you to mediate between your child and your parent. It's for you to finally let go of that child, use the child's aspect, the positivity of that child, but you use it in order for you to evolve and not become a wreck and not bringing you back down to the evolution that you're trying to make. Basically, in the evolution of man, it starts with the shoe man. So when we talk about the creation, again, once God created humans, there's a few steps that we skip in the Bible. I don't think it says in the Bible, but the ancient Kemet, they go with naming these spirits that goes and create others that finally create humans, right? So technically, when it comes to the creation, so from up to down, when God created other entities, other spirit, the first step is the sage. We can call it the sage, we can call it Osar, which is Osiris in ancient Kemet. If you follow me on TikTok, I go live every Sunday and I explain this in details. But for the sake of this podcast episode, I'm going to skip, okay? So we'll say the first stage where God resides is the sage. And that is the stage where the last stage where you need to reach in order for you to be God on earth. And it's the equivalent of grade 3 student in ancient Kemet. Okay. And the sage, I would also, just for the sake of comparing it with the transactional analysis, I would say the sage in the transactional analysis is the adult. And many people have this hard time to actually become an adult. And you can see that today, people that can be 50, they're still acting like kids. Okay. And that's why I'm saying it's very important to look at life this way, because it's not because you have a certain age that in like paper they say that you're an adult, that you're actually an adult, right? We have to look at the evolution of the person, what the person is doing anymore. Are they still acting like kids, right? Are they still acting like a baby when there's something that doesn't work? Adults do throw tantrum, just in a different ways. We see it all the time, and even today we see it a lot everywhere around the world. Okay, so the goal was for you to become the sage, for you to be grade 3 student. And now the second stage, when we go down from the creation from God to these entities, we call it that stage the abman. And the abman is, we'll say, the parent, because the parent is fully aware of the regulations, the rules, the policies, and wants to make sure that you can like go with life the way you should, right? So you rise and you become better. So that's the abman. The abman is also able to rise above emotions, egos, and all these material things. Okay. So the abman is very much of evolution from the child, because when a human becomes a parent, let's say in real life, we forget that we also have a child within us, right? And we become a parent, we become very strict, we embody this. But this is exactly what I mean by people are still kids, because now you play like as if you're a parent. Okay, a lot of people, when they have kids, they don't parent the way a parent should parent. Okay, but I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to make you understand that as a human being, nothing is wrong. It is for us to just analyze so that we understand what's going on. How do you evolve? Because if we cannot look at real life and look at where we want to go, then you're going to be confused. All right. So I would say the abman is the parent. And now today I want to focus the rest of the episode with the shoeman. The shoeman is, as I said, when you go from creation, which is first entity that was never created, that just created itself and recreated itself. We are going down, and as we're low, you are different. You are no longer, you lose that essence of God. Okay, you become material and you forget that you were ever created, or you ever had the sunshine in you, you ever had that spirit in you. So we have these five senses. We're looking, we start identifying ourselves with our environment, with this body. But that's because we completely forgot where we come from. And in this stage, we call it the shoeman. And the shoeman is where your body, the ego, the mind, and emotions exist. And these are the four things that many people, some people don't even develop their mind. And some people don't even fully get in control of their emotions. But that's okay. That's because the shoe man is the first stage. You're literally from birth to 28. That's where you are completely ignorant about your spirit. That's where you just want to fulfill whatever you learned from other people. Just like in the previous episodes, I explained how my first 3 seasons of my podcast was very much physical, was very much materialistic. And what did I teach you guys? How to have a good credit score, how to take care of your physical health, how to take care of your spiritual. I did say spiritual, but a lot of people only took that as religion. Okay. But the reason why I came back and I'm like, no, there's something here is because I realized that there's a difference between this physical world and the spiritual world. And although a lot of people are aware that there's a spiritual world, we still function in the human world. The reason why I say that is because we are thinking linearly, right? Once a human person reads the Bible, he takes it literally. He cannot take it abstractively and cannot think outside the box. He will look at the Bible, and if the Bible says something, he will go then and act upon it. And it's also another way to look at how confusing it is to be a shoeman, because we can believe in something today and then we can act on something like completely different. And we can like put ourselves in a place where we are guarding the reason. We're like, there is a reason why I'm doing this. And you're guarding that and you are proud of it because that's the ego, right? So a lot of the times what happened is basically we live in this materialistic world. We have the mind and emotions because of the ego that we have. Whenever something in our mind comes in and or our emotion comes in, that ego takes it personally. Okay, so the shoe man, when you understand that, you understand that for many, 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 many years, the people that have been governing us, the people that have been in high position to help civilizations, they really cannot help us because they are also in the Schumann stage. And you understand this by just looking at, okay, why is the world so confusing right now? If we say that so and so, let's say in the Bible, it says that sex is a sin or lust is a sin and things like that. And weird enough, there's sex everywhere. Okay, we see it everywhere in music videos and everything like that. And it's very contradicting. And it's making you have this fear also because a true man does not think abstractively. We have this fear of the underworld. We have this fear of God. We literally think that God is a person or an entity that's literally in heaven looking at us. Okay. And that is the result of only being fully materialistic, fully physical. Okay. So I wanted to touch on this Schumann so that you understand that when you operate in your Schumann, you only operate in your mind, emotions, ego, and the physical body that you have. And today we are moving from that. With the age of Aquarius, there's going to be a lot of knowledge that will come out, a lot of memories that you will start remembering. And I want you to understand that if you cannot think outside the box, you cannot think outside of yourself and also go inward to ask yourself those questions, and so that you can listen to that intuition, you are probably going to get more errors than you should be getting more better results. Today, you have to understand that it is not only the Schumann that exists, there's also the Abman and there's also the Sage. It's possible for you to move up. I honestly did not even think about this myself, but like I said in the last podcast episode, I am embarking in this journey myself. And it's because after knowing so much, you have to make a decision that enough is enough. Some lifestyle decisions have to stop. Some characteristic that I'm doing, some personality that I have will have to get out of the window, because now you understand that there's nothing negative Everything is about duality, okay? You can use something negative for a positive thing, and you can use something positive for a negative thing, all right? It's not only witchcraft or voodoo that only does bad stuff. Religion itself, Christianity, Islam, has so many blood on them, okay? So let's focus on what's real, and let's stop trying to look at the truth. We have to look at reality, the facts, and understand that this is who you are. Okay? When you become aware of this, you have to become aware that there's possibilities for you to become godlike on earth. Now, I said in the beginning that this was an ancient Kemet way. All right. The reason why today they're no longer there is because not everyone is able to be gods on earth. It's only a certain type of people, and by this time, I'm pretty sure you already know, okay, who they are. All right. So I'm going to leave you with that. Think about it. Are you comfortable just being in your materialistic world? Aren't you tired of only living in this limitation of the body while God created you and made it possible for you to ascend? And when you ascend, no matter your color, when you ascend, there's always going to be goodness in it. But there's only certain type of people that will be able to awaken certain powers. Okay. All right. So if by now you're still not following me, I'm inviting you to follow. I'm inviting you to comment. If you have any questions, if you've heard of this, let me know, because this is definitely new for me. Although I know about ancient Kemet, I definitely did not know about their way of life. Okay. So think about it. Love yourself always and put yourself first, because that is the standard. It is not selfish. All right. Bye bye.